YouTube. I hope everybody's doing well, both physically as well as mentally. So here we have the first episode, the inaugural episode of the Lowdown on the Down Low, where I talk about books that I bought and whether or not I overpaid for them. It's going to be a little bit of grading, a little bit of cleaning, a little bit of pressing. So I think you guys are going to really enjoy this. So let's get into it and start with the intro.
Taqi's Tales.
I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you could do me a big favor and hit the like button, I would really appreciate it. It also helps the video in its performance within the Google algorithm, and it also will help the channel grow as well. Alright, so I picked up recently from Half Price Books 2 books. I went outside my dollar bin budget because I thought that they were worth it, and we're going to find out if that indeed is the case. So the first one up here, Marvel Premiere featuring Iron Fist number 21, or Marvel Premiere 21. It's a key issue because it has the first appearance of Misty Knight in it. Now, I've looked at this book. This will be my 4th time looking at this book. The first time was right when I got it, right after I bought it, when I got it to the car. Ideally, you kind of want to glance it over in the store, but you're not going to be able to really get a good feel for it. And in the car, you're not going to be able to do a complete grade on it because you don't have some tools that I'll talk about in just a second. So when you're in the car, when you first, get the book out of the bag, you're just going to give that a dirty grade. And that's what we call when we just do a real quick grade. My initial grade on this was a 4.5. So sometimes people don't like to do that because you're going to be kind of biased. But then, you're going to back it up later on when you start doing measurements and other things to kind of confirm the grade that you gave the book. So the second time I looked at it, was last night, and the lighting wasn't great. The lighting is pretty good right now. I did bring my flashlight though, and that's going to allow you to kind of see what I'm seeing. You're going to be able to follow the flashlight, so you'll be able to follow my eyes as I'm going around the book. So but that always helps out. I suggest you carry one with you to shows, where the lighting isn't going to be great, and you're not going to have a really good lighting source. A good lighting source is very important in being able to grade a book. So last night I looked at it, the lighting wasn't great, I gave it a 5. Okay, so I think we went up half a grade. And then I just looked at it again and I gave it a 3.5. So I'm gonna just kind of spare you guys and that was taking measurements, and that was taking time and everything else. So I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna be able to do that whole thing again, but I'm gonna give you guys, basically an overview. So the spine on this book looks really good, considering the other damage that this book has. You just have a few spine ticks to it. You got a little bit of a start of a possible spine split, a corner blunt, along with a rip. So for the spine in this corner blunt, I'd probably give it a 1-point deduction just because of that. So we're kind of at a 9. Let me start with the major flaw of this book is this corner right here. This corner had a lot of damage to it, and you're going to see that as we talk about it more. So I'm taking a look at my cheat sheet here. There's a piece missing. I'm not going to count it as a crease. I'm not going to count it as a tear. I'm going to count it as a piece missing from the cover. And so we have here 1/4 of a penny size missing. Yeah, that's where I'm going to put it at. So we were at this ETA neck cheat sheet. The link will be in the description, or a link to a video where you'll be able to get the most up-to-date information will be in the description. It has this at a 7.0 max, so that knocks it down to a 6 right away, just because of this, and then what I said about this corner here. So the two top corners are in pretty bad shape, and then the rest of the spine. So we have that at a 6, and then this you got this thing right here that's giving it. That's probably the worst part here, and then you have some tears here as well. Kind of like Marvel chipping, but this is too new of a book for that. But You could tell this book was read, you know, and that's where a lot of the action took place. Another place you always want to look is at the bottom, because how do we store our books? We store our books like this. And when we store them like this, a lot of times the bagging board doesn't really protect the bottom as well as we would like. You know, that's one of the reasons for a top loader. And I'm just taking a look here. So I'm trying to decide how much of a reduction I'm going to give for both of these. And we're going to start grandfathering some stuff in. This cover is extremely dirty. It needs to be cleaned. I know the last time I looked at it, I gave it like a whole point. One whole point for this. So when you start getting experienced in books, you know what looks like a 2, you know what looks like a 3. This isn't a... It's a very good 3.5. It's probably closer to a 4. And that's just where I'm gonna stop there. I mean, I could keep on doing deductions. Maybe I'm gonna say that this is a 4, and I think when I get done cleaning and pressing it, because I will clean and press this book, it's gonna be close to a 5. At least that's what I'm hoping. Second book here, the cover is really good. The front cover is really, really good on it. You do see a couple of spine ticks. And there's enough here, you know, arguably they may or may not be color breaking. There's enough here as it stands now. I would say I would give like a 1 point deduction for every 2 of them, a 0.01 deduction for every 2 of them. So I would say that, you know, once this was encapsulated, you probably wouldn't be able to see what I'm showing you now with the flashlight. And that's the reason why I'm using the flashlight. This corner looks okay, this corner looks okay, this corner looks okay. They're not blunted. This corner is not good though. It's not bad. Initially I thought this was a tear. I'm gonna say it's more of a cover blunting, so that changes things. So I had this down to like a 9.6, just based upon the cover all by itself, a weak 9.6. I could easily see this getting a 9.4 if I sent it in for grading. I would be surprised if it got a 9.2 just based upon the front cover. Let's take a look at the back. Oh, and before we do that, let's take a look at the backboard. So the backboard is telling me that there's going to be some color rub here. So it's very important when you take your book out of the bag, you take it out with the backboard. When you put it back in, you put it back in with the backboard. Otherwise, you're going to be rubbing color off the back, and you're going to reduce the grade of the book. So the backboard's telling me that there's going to be some color rub. So I'm going to look at the top right corner, bottom right corner, top left corner. It's also telling me that there may be some damage to the book. There's a crease here. So let's flip the book over. All right, so top right corner. Yep, there it is. You guys, I don't know if you can see it or not. There's some color rub here. And definitely there's some down here. Let's see, what was I said bottom. Let me take a look at the backboard again. Now sometimes CGC might not catch it, so we top. And I might not be able to, yeah, there, yep. Okay, so that's not good. And then we have this crease right here. Hopefully you guys are able to see the crease right here. Let me measure the crease. I think it's like maybe 1.5 inches. So we're gonna look here. Crease. So this basically is telling me 1.5 inch crease will be a 7.0, 7.5 max. And that's where I'll go with this. That's really disappointing because I don't think that I would never think that this is a 7.0 book. Good news is that it's not a color breaking crease. I should be able to get it out. Once I get it out, the color rub will take that down to an 8.5. You know, there's, you know, I could say 9.0 at best. And I wouldn't be surprised with a 9.0, but there's too much ground. Once you fall below a 9, you're hitting an 8.5. Doesn't matter if there's no 8.8, there's no 8.6. So keeping that in mind. So right now, with that little crease there, that's, you know, a pressable defect. It's a 7.5. Best case, I have it at an 8.5. It's not worth pressing. So I won't even press it. I will put this in Mylar. And I'm done with that. This one is a 7.5. Let's mark it down in the book. That's what we're going to look at. We're going to measure our success there. I'm not doing nothing more with it. I could do more with it, but it's not worth pressing at an 8.5. So it's not worth pressing. It's not worth slabbing. And that's the real driving factor there. You could say, well, okay, why would you press this book then? Are you going to slab it? Probably not. I'd have to take a look at the census, but my guess is that, you know, this is a early Bronze Age, that this book, that there's enough on the census at a higher grade that it's not worth slabbing. However, for my own enjoyment, I will clean and press it, and I will make it more presentable, a better copy. We come back, we're going to probably see a couple of steps in the process, and then we're going to take a look at it in its final condition. Hopefully, I'll be able to say, yes, this is now a 5, and then we'll price it at a 5 and see whether or not I paid too much for it. Alright guys, so the audio might not be too great on this one. I'm not going to go and wire my mic up. Anyway, so I am in the dry cleaning process. This one right here is our Marvel Premiere number 21. As you can see, the back still is pretty dirty. I didn't finish it because I just wanted to show you guys the process on it. I'm also dry cleaning another book that I'm going to press. This one is, what is it? Ghost Rider number 6. One book that I picked up a while ago, long time ago, for $2. So this one is cleaning up pretty nice. The back wasn't as dirty as this one. I'm sorry for the quick transitions here, but wasn't as dirty as that one. It's cleaning up pretty nice. So these are the erasers that I'm using. And I don't know the names of these. You'll have to look them up. This is like a sponge eraser. I believe this is okay on color. This is okay on color. But you still want to watch it. I don't think that this one is okay with color though. But this is how I really get in. Let me back up here. This is how I really get in to the different areas. And then the next time you'll see it, I'll be about to do the wet clean, and I will have this book taped up. I don't think I'll be taping this one. I might though. Here's another little eraser that I use sometimes, but only on the white areas. And this one is so dirty. I might try the magic eraser on it. Let's see here. You know, everybody's seen one of these. So yeah, there you go. Let's see what happens. Okay, so the books are taped up and I'm done dry cleaning. Let's just focus on this one here. So there wasn't a lot of dry cleaning to do on the front. On the back, that's about as good as it's going to get dry cleaning. Did a lot of taping. I taped this whole part right here just so that it doesn't get damaged. This corner is gone. Never had to tape that right there. And this is a special archival tape. I don't know if I mentioned that before. Document repair tape. So I'm not sure. I never sent a book in for grading using that tape, so I'm not sure, you know, what the deal is. Fixed that corner the best I could. I'm trying to remember what else. I fixed this part of the spine the best I could. So now we're going to do wet clean. Ooh. One-handed magic here. All right, so this is like a normal amount of AccuClean, and I'm thinking this one, no, one of these two. This one or this one is a more stronger version. It's the stronger mix of AccuClean. So like when you get AccuClean, when you buy it, you did this. You got to mix it in with water, not distilled water. You want to use, so when we come back, I'll have wiped it down, both books, both sides, and I'll show you guys what I have here. Okay, so this isn't normally how I store the book, and usually I like to heat the book up before I actually wipe it down. But this was my first application of ImmacuClean. Now on the back, some of the yellow started to come up, so I haven't covered the main text part with ImmacuClean. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. And this was the weakest version of ImmacuClean. Just take, one of these pads and pap. So this is from the cover. So I took that dirt off, and hopefully it'll restore some shine. I might give it another wipe down before I press it. Okay, so now I've applied some spot treatments to the cleaning of the back here. I think, unfortunately, this is as good as it's going to get. So not really what I wanted here. This spot is going to dry out. It's still wet. But we got a lot of staining. I think this will dry out. You can even see where I might have gone. I'm trying to get out of the shadow here. Gone a little too far with it. Yeah, that's not good. Might end up taping that up. Might have lowered the grade. So, this isn't ImmacuClean's fault. The book is just way too dirty. And here are the pads right here. These are the two from the back cover. I'm probably going to do the front cover one more time. Okay, so I think this is about as good as it's going to get. I just put it in a cold press here. Realizing now I never formally paged through the book on the video. So let me do that real quick before we press it out here. I put it in a cold press because of this top corner here. It was actually throughout the whole book. There was a corner bend. So usually you would want to page through the book, and I did. Like I said earlier in the video, I've done this. I probably spent like 3 hours on this book. Here's the first misty night here. You're just looking for rips when you page through the book. Here we go with the centerfold. At first I thought maybe the staples were reattached, but I'll show you guys when we get to the back. Back one last time. But you could see what I was saying about the staples. You can see right here and right here where they're not really perfect. But now I'm going to press the book, and when we come back we'll see how it looks, and then we'll go over the prices in it. Okay guys, I'm just going to be taking the comic book out of the press and moving it to a cold press. So I put it in here for 160 degrees for 10 minutes. And then usually, if I have a lot of books I'm trying to press, I'll let the press completely cool down to room temperature, which usually takes about 4 hours, and then I move it to the cold press. Today I just left it in the press, so it's been in here for about 8 hours. The only benefit to that is that this clamp makes the force maybe a little bit more than normal, but otherwise I don't really see a benefit to leaving it in the press once it cools down. I know you guys might want to see the stack, and what that means is how did I, what did I put it in? What did I put in between the book when I put it in the press? So I got one sheet here. We got a couple of backboards here because the staples are kind of funky, and then another sheet on the back there. And then I use these reusable, whatever they're called, can't remember, parchment paper and magazine backboards. So there you guys go. All right guys, so now it is in a cold press. It's been in a cold press for over 12 hours at this point. So it's been in a state of being pressed for over 24 hours. I'm going to take it out. We're going to take a look at it. I'm going to wrap this video up, finally. Okay, so here it is, finally done. So I don't really think I really improved the grade on this. I'm able to look at it a little bit more objectively. Didn't get this crud off. It's probably, I don't know. There's a lot that needed to be done to this book here. Let's take a look at it. Just real quick. I really think it's still a 4 or 5 or a 4. I think I had it at a 4 before. Yeah, I did. Yeah, maybe, and I said I might be able to get it up to a 5. I don't know, guys. It got still the staining here and this. Stain here, stain here. It's so hard for me to be objective at this point, because now it's just not a matter of judging the book. It's judging my work. But unfortunately, I didn't page through it the first time, so you guys didn't get to see the corner bends that I'm putting back into the book as I page through it. But there it is. So I probably have it at a 4. So according to Key Collector on this book here, I should have paid somewhere between $4 to $10 for it. Ideally it would have been closer to 4, maybe like $6, no more than $7. And that's kind of how you have to look at Key Collector. Key Collector gives you prices. Those aren't to necessarily buy the book, they're to flip the book. That's not really something that I do. So you kind of discount it, but at the same time you kind of take it into consideration. I look at all data. I look at sold listings on eBay. I also look at what the book is currently being listed for, because that gives you a good idea of where it's trending and the real value of the book. That's just not what it last sold for. Anyway, so not to make this too much more longer, or this part at least too much more longer, they said that so Key Collector had this book at 7, but when you looked at cover price said $18. So the buy wasn't bad. If I would sell this, say for $20, I would make $5 on it. However, there's 3 hours of my time in this book. So in actuality, I would lose $70 if I paid myself a modest $25 an hour. So that's the reason why I don't sell books, guys. But let's talk about Howard the Duck number 1. So Howard the Duck number 1, it said that Key Collector said that I should buy this book between $3 to $12 based upon its grade. So ideally, it would be around $9. Cover price says that 7.0 to I believe 8.5 is going for $37. Now keep in mind, I could have bumped this grade up. If I had submitted it for grading, maybe the grading company misses that color rub. And here's some pictures of the color rub, just so you guys know what I was talking about. The color rub on the top staple wasn't that bad. Bottom staple I don't think would fly. Okay, so I paid $23 for it, so that means I could make $14. That's me and my daughter eating at McDonald's tonight, guys. But this is the thing. Okay, and then I got 1 hour invested in the Howard the Duck one, so I actually lost $11. But we can't really look at it. No business that starts out looks at it that way. You become more efficient as you go on. I understand all that. But this is the bottom line, and this is the reason why I showed the Key Collector information, is because you're not, when you're buying from half price books or you're buying from a dealer, those aren't the prices that a reseller would pay, and you need to keep that in consideration unless you really think you're going to sit on the book and eventually it will shoot up. That's the and that's kind of where we're at here. So the big question is, were they good buys for my collection? Absolutely, because I got both of them under market. According to cover price said this book should have been 18. I would think it would be 20. I got it for 15. And this is the first time I've ever seen this book in the wild. Both of these books. First time I saw it in the wild, cover price said that it should be, I could see somebody listing this on eBay as a 9.0 plus because they don't catch the color up, or they don't catch the crease at the bottom back cover. And it's even more. On eBay, I could see shop owners missing that as well, because the front cover looks beautiful except for this little bit of a corner blunt there. I could see shop owners listing it for 50, and I got it for 23. I actually thought that's where half price was going to go on it. As far as half price books, some of them are good, some of them are crooks. That's why I used to call them half price crooks, but I don't discriminate against all of them now. Just the ones in Brookfield, Wisconsin. Oops, I shouldn't have said that. Anyway. Watch, they'll probably, the location, the management changes, and they don't really know comic books. That's not their expertise. But what you see a lot of times are comic books overpriced at half price books. That's what you see a lot of times. And when you find a location where they're pricing them fairly, and in this situation, they underpriced 2 books. And these are 2 books that fit into kind of the goals of my collection. I mean, Gwenpool is pretty far out, and Misty Knight was actually someone I have a safe search for on eBay. Not something I was actually pursuing at this point, but I was at a certain point, and I just moved away from it. So that's it for here. So that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching this full video, this very long video. But, I went overboard on some of these things, just because I'm not going to ever cover it again on my channel. And I kind of wanted to do it for the culture. So, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check the show's description for links to other great comic book YouTube creators who produce beautiful, great, awesome content about comic book collecting. My intro was done by Mo Media. My music is always by LS. There'll be parts of this video where there won't be music, but the parts that there are will be music from LS Beats. Thank you so much for watching again. On the outro, please hit the like button. If you hear this long, please just give that like button a push. I really appreciate it. Until next time, take it easy. Peace. That looks really nice in some Mylar, though, I have to say.